hello, and thank you for joining me for another ITY video with top international executives. Today I have with me Kathryn Parsons. She is the CEO and co-founder of Decoded and was one of the keynote speakers at CeBIT Australia 2016. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here.
It was really wonderful to see you this morning. I don't know if the keynote will be available to watch later on. If it is, I'll put a link. It was so full of energy and excitement, and you had such a great message. But let's start off just by saying, what is Decoded? How did you come up with the idea? And what are you doing in Australia beyond being one of the keynote speakers?
Well, Decoded launched in 2011. It's a technology education business. And we started with this kind of mission impossible, which was, could you take someone with zero skills, confidence, knowledge about technology and teach them so much in a single day that they could actually code an app in a day? Yeah. And that really resonated. And why did I do it? Well, I wanted to learn. I was passionate about technology. I was involved in technology, but I got quizzed on whether I actually understood the technologies behind the screen and the languages and the codes. And I had to be honest and say, no, I didn't. And so I personally wanted to learn. I studied languages, so for me, technology was just another language to learn. And the journey's been incredible since then. We've taught hundreds of thousands of people face-to-face all across the world, about 45 different cities. We reach millions through the work that we've done online in the UK in the education space, and we've been decoding lots of different dark arts. But really it's about transforming education as well, making it an experience that anyone feels that they can be a part of, and making people realise that you can be a part of this digital world. You can be digitally literate. It's not about turning someone into a programmer necessarily. It's about transforming them into this active, knowledgeable participant in the digital world, because that is the world now.
I like to teach people that technology is your friend, not the sci-fi-like enemy that wants to destroy you with robots.
Completely.
And you know, some people, it's amazing, people are still scared of it. But in the keynote, if you just permit me this indulgence for a second, you were talking about this taxi driver, and you were explaining to him how he could code, and he was all excited by the end of the journey. And that's when my stream cut out, because I have flaky bandwidth at home, nothing to do with CeBIT. So I was wondering, what was the end of that story? You were about to tell us, and then it cut out for me.
Well, I think I was explaining the fact that setting out with this mission to teach people code was really kind of crazy in 2011, and this taxi driver was asking me you know, what I did, because they kind of do ask those kind of questions.
Yeah. Taxi drivers like to talk.
But he wasn't remotely interested, so I thought, I'm going to really convince him, and I actually think I still do this on a daily basis.
You do?
And I did it in Sydney only a few days ago, and I thought I'd really convinced him that he wanted to learn coding, and I thought, I'm going to change this guy's life, you know? And I felt so inspired, and I couldn't wait to get on stage. And
did he create Uber?
No, he then revealed to me as I was getting out of the taxi, it dawned on me that he thought that I was going to teach him how to make a coat.
Right. As opposed to code.
Yeah, no, he wasn't interested. And so the reason it was so important was I suddenly realised, listen, nobody even knows what this word means.
Yeah.
And then actually most people aren't remotely interested.
And that's why you're decoding it, right?
Yeah, and we became campaigners at that point as well, not just the technology education company, but that's when we started you know, getting on stages within governments and within businesses and within, you know, the community, to really educate people about why this was even important, which totally transformed our business.
Now I want to talk about curriculums a bit later on, but I mean, do you work with the Hour of Code people or any other existing coding organisations that are trying to teach kids?
Yeah, I mean, everyone. I really think that this whole mission about creating a generation that is going to grow up with the skills that they need to survive and thrive in a machine learning age is something that is everyone's responsibility. Whether you're a mum or a dad, or whether you're a CEO, or whether you're
a 6-year-old kid.
Yeah, or whether you're running government. And so we all need to work together to address this. And so whether it's Hour of Code, whether it's code clubs all around the world, whether it's learning online with Code Academy, whether it's Scratch and all the work that's being done in that space, how do we bring together all the tools, all the free resources? Google's doing some incredible work in this space as well, and collaborate so that we can create the tools and the inspiration that parents, teachers, and young kids need to get engaged in this subject.
So when you have kids one day, they're going to be like coding geniuses.
Oh my god, I feel sorry for them already. For my non-existent children.
You're gonna have like some sort of a headphone on your belly, and they're gonna be like hearing code before they're born, right?
Imagine they'll be coding before they're speaking.
That's it. They will be. Well, I mean, apparently, like little kids can learn sign language before they can talk and tell their parents stuff. So why, they could be doing that.
And
well,
languages.
You've seen kids, playing on iPads for years and iPhones. Yeah.
It's intuitive.
So which languages do you speak? I heard you mention a few of them on the keynote.
Well, I got very into Japanese when I was about 14. I started.
Well,
I was 14, and I was studying at the School of Oriental and African Studies in London, and then I did Mandarin there as well, and I was also doing kind of French and Italian. Oui, je parle français.
Po-ruski?
No.
Okay.
That would be such a beautiful language to learn, wouldn't it? There are so many more languages actually that I want to learn.
And coding is just another language of which there are many different flavors as well.
I think I approached it like that. I kind of thought the challenge. What you said in the keynote. The challenge was breaking it down. I often say the most important words in Decoded are the DE. The taking things apart and then putting them together in a way that anyone can understand, and the process can take a really long time. So we've just developed a product called Hacker in a Day, which is teaching people to hack into bank accounts, encrypt things, and cybersecurity. It's taken us well over a year to develop that day, because it's not easy to break down something complex into simple parts that literally anyone can understand.
In one day.
And we do it in an hour now, and we do it, we're doing digital transformation programs across a much longer period of time, like a year. But really, I think the art of forcing yourself with the constraint of could you do this in a day, condense a world into a day, is important, because most people will make the excuse that they don't have time to learn.
Sure.
So if we can create something that you can almost say,
anybody.
You've got a day, right? And now we've managed to teach some of the most incredible people across government and business globally. We've got great kind of examples of people who have spared a day to learn something really important.
Now, just to touch on a topic you spoke about in the keynote, it was International Women's Day recently.
Yeah.
So why does that matter, and what is your involvement in women in tech?
I am so passionate about women in entrepreneurship and technology, because I just think technology is becoming the world around us, and it's so important. It's economies are becoming digital, and the more I've done work with more businesses globally, the more I see that they're desperate to hire programmers, developers, data scientists, but also digital leaders, people who are literate and confident about the digital world. And really, by the work that we were doing, I began to see that women were opting out of technology, that this was a really big issue, and I kept kind of hearing these words and phrases that made me feel that there was this perception that women weren't as good at technology as men, or that somehow this wasn't a place that naturally they belonged in. And that really jarred with when you look at some of the earliest pioneers.
Ada Lovelace, Grace Hopper.
Ada Lovelace, her painting hangs in number 10 Downing Street.
Wow.
And so many people walk by it and don't know who this woman is. You would never guess this woman created, the first
program.
Algorithms.
With Charles Babbage. I mean,
Incredible.
she was the programmer for his machine.
She was.
Without him, he would have just had without her, he would have just had a bunch of gears.
Completely. And who knew that such an avid kind of passion for gambling could result in brilliant kind of computer science.
Well, the birth of modern technology as we know it.
Yeah, exactly. And these figures are so inspiring, I think, when you tell the stories of them, and actually bringing modern mentors as well to the fore, to show women that technology is a place where women belong, and they come up with breakthroughs, and they're needed. And I think my point about I only recently was going through the Stack Overflow research, which is a Q&A site for developers, and seeing that out of the 55,000 people who'd filled in that survey, only less than 6% of the programmers and developers were female.
Yeah.
And these products are shaping our lives. They're changing entire economies.
And women are 50% of the population. I mean, hello.
Yes. If this was the consumer product market old school days, people would know that there was a real problem in surely we're not developing products which are really born from a place of insight that are female. Are we marketing these products in the right way, because we need women involved in that, and are we actually creating products for women? I don't think we even know what a digital future coded and created by women looks like. But this shouldn't be happening because this is such a recent future. This is 10 years old, and as you and I know, a lot of people who work in technology are quite utopian.
Yeah.
And it is like change the world.
We all watched up, growing up, living, watching Star Trek, where it's all, there's no money, everyone's at peace.
Yeah.
It's just click your fingers and something just materializes.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, that science fiction is inspiring engineers and programmers to actually create those things. And Steven Spielberg just got the rights to Ready Player One, this brilliant book, highly recommend you all read it, about virtual reality. That book has inspired, haptic gloves and a lot of the virtual reality experiences.
Well, you spoke about Mission Impossible, which many people use as examples of how so many of those things have come to life, have come true. Science fiction, as they cliched in the way say, becomes science fact.
It really is, and for a science fiction kind of lover, it's kind of an exciting time.
Well, I've read all of Asimov's books, wonderful, wonderful.
But I want women to be part of it, and they need to be a part
and they
of
should,
it.
they should.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy that we have to talk about it and make it happen when it should just be natural.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But look,
and
you're working hard to make it happen.
Yeah.
And sorry?
And they're great at it. Women are really good at technology.
Well, just look at you. Now, you were talking about getting technology onto curriculums in the UK. So tell us a bit about that. And are you working on that in Australia as well and globally?
I'd love to bring that campaign to Australia. I know that a lot of great work is already happening here. Mm-hmm. You have all the code clubs being initiated and run in schools.
We heard Mike Baird talking about that, I think Overmore as well, briefly before your talk.
A lot of businesses getting involved in investing in this as well.
I've been to Hour of Code at Apple stores in Australia.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, so,
And exactly, you're celebrating Hour of Code here. I mean, the reason I'm here is it is so on the agenda. Technology is being talked about, in schools, by governments, by everyone.
I used to dream of having a laptop when I went to school, and we did Pascal programming, right, on Apple IIs. But now every kid's got a laptop, and it's just natural for them. And,
it's great.
And coding should be natural too. You've got to be able to learn how to put it together, not just use it. You've got to be a creator, not just a consumer.
And I think one of the interesting things that came out of the UK's campaign for code was being really aware of not providing an environment that was supportive for teachers. Mm-hmm. So it's quite frightening to say that you're going to introduce something onto a curriculum that
you might not know yourself.
Completely, or without the tools, resources, or inspiration to bring it alive in the classroom.
And that's right, and backup to help you as well.
Very much
people
so.
You can tune into on a live stream to say, hey, kids, here's XYZ. Here's Steve Wozniak. Let's learn something from him. I met him the other day.
I heard he's in Australia. This is so exciting.
He lives half the time here and half the time in the US.
Why?
His children are here. He's got a son and a daughter-in-law, and his grandchild is here.
Oh.
And I think,
I'd love to
he's
meet
an
him.
American. Yeah, I'd love to meet him too. I can give you his details.
Yeah.
And his daughter is, or I think his daughter is sort of the gatekeeper, but I'm sure she'll love to talk to you. I'll give you his details after this.
Yeah, okay, great.
So look, we've got limited time. So what other digital dark arts are you decoding? You hinted to that before.
Yes, we look at what looks like it's a technology or a space within technology which you're hearing a lot about, is impacting everyone's lives, but you get a feeling that it's surrounded by a lot of jargon or mystery or fear. So we're doing data, or data, as you like to say.
Yeah. I heard you say that in the keynote.
Yeah,
and
breaking it down into things like artificial intelligence, data visualization, right through to hacking and cybersecurity, which was also mentioned at the beginning of the conference. It's a really key area of investment for Australia in your ambition to become one of the leading kind of technology hubs in fintech, but also cybersecurity, which I thought was really interesting.
Sure. Wow, we're so close to Asia. It's
and we want to do VR in a day as well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of VR headsets. They're fantastic.
Cool.
Now, so you teach everybody, right? There's nobody that you don't teach.
Yeah.
I mean, does this include seniors in nursing homes who you're trying to re-energize, or is it mainly people in business? And because the Silver Surfers love that sort of stuff, and I've seen things where young kids from schools go into the seniors' homes and as part of the school curriculum to go and teach them how to use their phones and things. And the seniors love it. They love this, to have these young people come and teach them. And I'm thinking we should be inclusive. It's not just babies, it's everybody, right?
And I love that reverse mentoring that's happening as well, in terms of leadership, but also skills. When has there been a time where there's been that role reversal, where there's a whole generation of people that know about this suite of skills and about technology that is so essential to the economy?
Sure.
And so you're seeing kind of, but yes, it's everyone has gravitated towards this. Once you take down the barriers and you remove the fear and you make technology feel like something that anyone can dip their toe into the water and go as deep as they want, and take away all the reasons that actually stop people believing that they can be a part of it, everyone gravitates towards it. So I think we've taught governments globally, boards of every single industry and sector that you can possibly imagine, from technology companies in San Francisco to retailers to banks. We've taught in schools, we've taught hundreds of teachers in the UK, something I'd love to bring to Australia too.
Sure, absolutely.
And we've taught mums who are thinking, I want to get back into the workplace, but I'm being told that, you know, you've missed it because, you know,
I mean, they might have the next great idea. They could be helping parents or anybody. I mean, humans are an endless resource, the one resource we will never run out of, and we don't use ourselves enough. We worry that we're going to run out of oil or something, when if we ever do, humans will find a way to get around that problem. I mean, we always have, we always will.
Our amazing creative minds.
Now, what's your website?
It's just decoded.com.
Okay, excellent. Simple and easy.
Nice and easy.
So what will coding be like in 10 years? Will we have these VR headsets and we'll just be thinking the code? Or, I mean, how do you think it'll all evolve?
I mean, I love that idea. I love the idea that you literally, there is no interface.
That's it. You are the interface.
Yeah,
right?
and the
Like
barrier
Matrix.
between thought and creation just is totally, you know, there's no barrier.
I mean, there is no barrier as it is right now. People think and create stuff all the time.
Yes.
But I mean, from a jacked-in cyberspace Matrix point of view,
completely.
You know.
Yeah, that's the future. You're going to be able to learn kung fu like that.
That's it. Can't wait. I hope I'm still alive when it happens. So, what's the best piece of advice that you've ever received to help you get where you are today? And I think it's going to be pretty stunning, whatever it is.
I mean, you know, you can burn with passion and vigor and really wanting to make things happen, but
don't burn out.
Yeah, that's a good one. Very well, it's important, you know, actually removing yourself from technology as well as being really immersed in it.
Sure.
There's a huge kind of mindfulness movement happening, and it's incredibly popular with lots of coders and developers.
But you were going to say, I didn't want to.
I was going to say, it's a marathon, not a race.
Yeah.
You know, really, you know, if you've got your passion, your purpose, be ready for the kind of long journey and to learn and to change and to listen. And also, I think this kind of sense of you can do it. We all have ideas, and now technology is lowering the barriers to entry for entrepreneurship in a way that...
The level playing field, as I say.
Yeah, that's we've never experienced before. There are still a lot of issues about finance raising, creating the right environment that creates diversity in the startup community, and also lowers risk for the individual starting up that business and creates community. But it's such an amazing time to be. So if you've got an idea, there's nothing to lose. Just go and give it a go, learn a few lines of code. You can't break anything, and it will be fine.
There was this famous little book from Intel's, like, about learning your computer, how to use technology computers. A little green book. You opened it up, and there was this graphic of this salesperson saying, "Look, don't worry, you can't hit anything. Nothing will go wrong." And the person pushes the escape key, and looking out the window, this nuclear bomb goes off. And you know, it was sort of like this. Nothing bad will happen. But it's true. In the modern era, nothing bad. That's it. But and also, just quickly, this mindfulness thing is a thing too. I mean, you've got to switch off sometimes and remember that we're human. We're not cyborgs.
We are definitely.
And there are apps for that. There are sites for that. There's meditation music.
Calm.com is just a brilliant one, and you know, it's
one you use.
Yeah, definitely. Well, my boyfriend co-founded.
Oh, there you go. Excellent. Bit of a plug.
He kind of forced me to use it, and now I'm actually using it, which is incredible. But it's amazing to see how it's taking off with the developer community in San Francisco.
Yeah. Who probably, a lot of them would be burnt out.
Yeah, and you know, you can't sit your screen for 17 hours a day, and you shouldn't. And It's having a balanced, healthy relationship with technology.
Well, with everything in your life. Moderation, as
Yeah.
they say, is in everything. So what is your final message for IT Wire readers and viewers, and for your all the Decoded, the youth of the world, and in fact any age group who wants to learn about coding? What's your final message to all of us?
I'd say we're living in a learning revolution. It's incredible. You can Google search anything and learn anything that you want. So nothing is impossible. Question everything. Australia is amazing, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for an evident passion for learning, education, and so I have full faith that you're all embracing the learning revolution as well as the technology revolution.
Well, Kathryn, it's been a real pleasure to see you both at the keynote and to interview you today.
Thank
I
you.
look forward to interviewing you again in the future.
Amazing.
It'll be a real thrill.
We should go for a drink with Steve.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Kathryn.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.